No, that's not true. They're not paying for everything. I still pay for my own clothes, my own house, my own car, my own food, but everything. It's like when you go out and you go out to eat, they like get you a drink or something and get you some food. Like that's what I mean. Or like they take you out somewhere really nice and they're just generous people like down here. Like they just want to live it up and have fun with you. But that's basically it. Again, don't know why guys in the comment section are literally so salty. Like, also with this comment, I love how this guy adds, and they get nothing in return. Like, what do you want? We didn't ask you to pay for the stuff, you know? Also, we don't owe guys shit, so. Damn, you guys are so salty.
It's not the fact that guys are salty. It's the fact that modern day women are complete hypocrites. Because in one sense, they want you to act chivalrous. They want you to be this traditional type strong man. Yet, in the same sense, they want to shame masculinity. They want to claim that they're independent, they're empowered. You know, I don't need a man and all this. Yet, then if you don't need a man, A, why are you even going on dates with one? And B, why are you expecting him to pay? Right? You can't play both sides of the fence. Okay, that's what we call being a hypocrite, which most modern day women are, right? Most modern day women are so entitled that they can't even see how entitled and how spoiled they actually are, you know? And the sad part is society supports this type of behavior. Society supports them acting like this. Like, oh, you deserve it, girl. You deserve this kind of man, right? Don't settle for less. You deserve it. This is what you're entitled to. Meanwhile, for guys, it's like, no, you bad little man, evil little man, right? Just take what you could get. Stop acting like this toxic masculinity, like you own everything, like you should have any desires that should be fulfilled. It's like, okay, so as a woman, you should be entitled to everything and then some, but as a man, you shouldn't be entitled to jack shit? No, right? No, that's not how it works. And this is why we're having such conflict these days when it comes to just basic casual dating even, right? Basic casual dating, you know, you meet a guy that you like and the guy, you know, wants to take you out. He likes you too. So both of you go out together, but then the bill comes and it's uncomfortable. It's like, oh, wait, I thought he was going to get me. And then the guy is just like, oh, you know, especially if he's a younger guy, he was raised with all this propaganda. So he's believing like, oh, she's got her own money. She's independent. I see all these superhero movies where women are kicking men's asses, right? These Mary Sue characters who are like in the lead roles now, right? I don't have to do anything. I can sit here and I can be the bitch. She should pay. She should pay for me because I've been watching a lot of these Hollywood movies lately. I've been watching mainstream news. Right? I've been watching CNN. I've been watching all these late night talk show hosts. And they're telling me, listen to the woman. She's in charge. Okay, baby, go ahead. There's the bill. All right? There's the bill. You want to wear the pants? You want to act like a dude? You want to be the man? Okay. Then do that. Here's the bill. Take care of it. Oh, you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that. As I always say, everybody's a feminist up until the bill comes, right? Everybody's a feminist, like every woman's a feminist up until that check comes. Every woman's a feminist until they're on the Titanic, right? Every woman's a feminist until they're in a burning building. Every woman's a feminist until they're on an airplane that's going down, right? All of a sudden, it's like, no, I'm just a woman. I need help. Help me, save me, save me. You can't sit here and complain and then tell guys that they're salty because, you know, they're not willing to pay for you and you're not willing to give them anything in return. I mean, it's such a bum deal, right? It's such a bum deal for guys these days. You're not giving them anything in return. I mean, that's fair, right? It's fair that they should want something in return. They're spending time with you. They're taking you out. And, you know, too many modern women these days just expect men to take them out, pay for everything, be chivalrous, and say all the right things and be perfect and all this while getting nothing, absolutely nothing in return. Not even good conversation, okay? Not even good conversation. A lot of modern women today can't even hold a proper conversation where it's like 50-50, right? Where you're asking about the girl and she's asking about you. No, most modern women, their dates really just revolve around them talking about themselves for about 2 hours and then saying goodnight to you, and that's it. Right? You paid for the meal, you sat there, listened to her bullshit for 2 hours, and now you're going home and you're probably going to be friend zoned. You're probably going to be friend zoned. Why are you going to be friend zoned? Because you were too nice to her, you showed up to your date on time, you were a little too chivalrous, you were not abrasive enough when she kept rambling on about herself, you didn't cut her off and call her out on that and be like, hey, yo, there's two of us here. This isn't just about you. Right? You have to start calling these girls out. The problem is we've just had too many simps out there for way too long who've just validated these girls and their piss poor behavior towards men forever and ever, to the point where now we're at a crux, right? We're at just this crossroads where, you know, we need to take a stand, right? We need to take a stand as guys, and we need to say, hey, enough of this, right? Enough of this piss poor behavior towards men. Enough of this man hating. Enough of this attack on masculinity, right? Enough of it. Because if you want to date us, you got to start acting feminine. You got to start acting proper, right? You got to start acting that way. Because I mean, even back in, you know, like when I was first starting dating in high school, right? Way back when, guys did pay for dates, right? I mean, and back then we weren't going to no coffee, right? You guys are part of my generation and older than me. When we would go out with a girl, we would literally go to dinner, right? We would literally go to dinners. We would have food, and then usually we'd go to dinner and a movie. That was the thing back then. This is before the internet, right? Be like, hey girl, you know, I want to take you out this weekend. And usually the plan was, the safe plan would always be dinner and a movie. So you take the girl to dinner and a movie, right? That's $50, right? That's $50 right there. But a lot of guys would throw that down. Why? Because women back then, they were not being told that they don't need a man. They were not being told like, oh, you know what? Go out and make your own money. They were not being told like, hey, don't have a family. That's not the definition of being a strong woman. Instead, they were telling them to, hey, find a good man, you know, try to make that relationship work. Don't monkey branch to some guy because you have shiny object syndrome. Try to find the right guy for you and try to make that work. So back then, at least both parties had skin in the game, right? Both parties had skin in the game. Whereas these days, women really don't have any skin in the game. So when they go on a date with a guy, the guy just instinctively, even without training, can feel that. Like, she doesn't really have skin in the game. I'm just another Tinder date to her. She's going to be right back on Tinder, you know, after this stage is over, and swiping left and swiping right, and I'm just going to be all forgotten about. Why should I drop down, you know, like 20, 30, 40 bucks on this chick when I know she's going to be off with the next guy, right? Either tonight or tomorrow. So for him, it's a bum deal now. A lot of these women today think that their value is much higher than what it really is. Whereas back in the day, before dating apps, right, and before like social media, these women really were, I mean, they really didn't have an understanding of whether social value was, right? They were a lot more realistic towards it. So even back in the day, you could get yourself a pretty good looking girlfriend if you had decent game, if you could rap to a girl, if, you know, you weren't like too socially awkward, you could get yourself a pretty decent looking girlfriend. Whereas today it's much harder because these girls are being bombarded on dating apps and social media by just thousands upon thousands of guys who are, you know, inflating their egos, inflating their heads, telling them how beautiful they are, how sexy they are. Ooh, you deserve this girl, you deserve that, you know. And it's to the point where she misinterprets her own sexual marketplace value. She might see herself as a 9, where in reality she's maybe a 6, right? Or she might even be a 4. That's why we have that term, 49ers, right? We have that term 49ers because a lot of girls misinterpret their sexual marketplace value. And, you know, and sadly too, if they look at a lot of these guys who are praising them and liking all their photos and constantly messaging them on these dating apps, most of these guys are lower tier males, right? They're just chumps. Really, they're just chumps and simps, right? It's insane how these girls allow these chumps, simps, and lower tier males to inflate their ego to the point to make them think that they're goddesses. And that's something you would never see with men. You would never see a guy who has like a nation of land whales trying to get in his pants. All of a sudden he thinks he's like the shit, right? All of a sudden he thinks he's like a male model because he has like a nation of land whales coming after him. Instead, that guy would be a little more realistic, and he would be like, wait a minute, am I that ugly? Am I sucking at life that bad where I only have land whales chasing after me? I don't have hot women? At least a guy would be more realistic about that. But for women, they're not. They're like, they let it blow up and inflate their egos, their heads, and, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. And it's no surprise why there are so many older millennial women today still single, still alone. And yet they're still trying to chase that magic carrot around their track, trying to lock down that high value guy, and they just can't get him. They have a misperception about where their own SMV, where their own level of attractiveness really is in reality versus online, versus on these dating apps. You feel me? You know what I mean? So this chick's rant is totally unreasonable, and she herself can't see it. And this chick, just like many other modern day women like her, are gonna still be single 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. The older she gets single, the more bitter she's gonna get towards men, the more excuses she's gonna make for her own piss behavior. She's never gonna take accountability or responsibility for what she is doing wrong. She's just going to continue to blame men and say they're cheap, they weren't raised right, and all this other stuff, when in reality it's, you know what, it's not only her attitude, but it's society supporting this type of behavior. So I mean, a real strong woman would go against that. A real strong woman would recognize that and go, hey, you know what, even though society's like supporting all this strong woman, independent woman crap, you know, I don't want that. I want to be feminine, and I want to find myself a masculine man. And, you know, anytime my girlfriends like try to come at me with that feminist garbage, I'm going to speak against them, right? I'm going to stand up for men. And whenever I meet a traditional man, I'm going to treat him right. And I'm going to let him know and make him feel appreciated and valued and respected, right? And that's usually the type of girl that lands herself a high value man and stays with that guy and ends up happy and living happily ever after. Right? So, as always, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Let me know what you think of her rant as well as my own. So drop your comments below. I love to read your comments. They're always very entertaining, especially lately. Very hilarious, some of them. So, love reading them. Drop them below. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Do it now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. Okay, more importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, it helps me out a ton, especially right now, guys. YouTube is on this just purge of, you know, not promoting channels like ours that are trying to help men. Okay, they don't like this type of content. So I need you guys to help me spread the word. So if you have other like-minded friends of yours who are also ready to be unplugged from the blue pill matrix and are ready to be red pilled,